All right, everybody. Welcome to Blackspin. How y'all doing today? How is everybody? As you can tell by the title, we are going to take a look into the mind of a white supremacist. No, we're going to take a look into the mind of those that choose to date outside their race. And we're going to ask ourselves, do BMs, do black men really feel as though they have a responsibility to the black community? And that is a very good question. And to answer it, I found this video. I couldn't find the entire video on Fox Soul because that's where the interview took place with Dr. Umar Johnson and this other. Give me 1 minute, guys. Hello? Hey, what's up? Nothing. Making me some tea.
I feel like Black people should care about interracial relationships because they're important, right? It gives us an opportunity. Like, I'm an interracial relationship myself, so it gives us an important opportunity to be a bridge. So we see ourselves as a bridge with so much divide going on. So we try to be that bridge for other people that have questions on other races other races and stuff like that. So we want to just be a bridge for them. We want to allow them an opportunity to ask the tough questions and be a positive light and to be that backboard that they can
throw. A bridge to racial harmony?
Yes, a bridge to it. I mean, there's so much division, and in our relationships, we try to allow our relationship to be an image of what it looks like for unity, right? Unity together and coming together. And you have differences, I have differences, I'm different than you, but we can come together and have something that's beautiful. And that's our marriage.
Why should Black people care about interracial relationships, Juice?
I'm not really into like preach or force my belief on someone, but it's like there's just so much focus on skin color, and I'm like, I feel like the focus to me, again, is just my opinion, but I feel like the focus should be on someone's character first. And if the person's nice and you like them, then it makes sense to kind of want to be around them because they're nice people, regardless of what they look like. So, for me, it just makes sense to focus on someone's character first, and then someone's appearance, skin color, and that stuff. So, yeah.
Dr. Umar, let's get into it. Why should Black people care about interracial relationships?
Black people should care about interracial relationships for 3 reasons. Number 1, when we go outside of our community to select our mates, we undermine the importance of the traditional Black family in the lives of Black people, and in particular, Black children. If Black boys don't see Black men being committed to Black women, they may be less inclined to do the same themselves. There can be no nation without first having a strong Black family, and the traditional Black family is under attack. And when we talk about interracial relationships in our community, we're overwhelmingly talking about Black men. It is Black men who marry outside of their race more than the men of every other race in this country put together as a percentage of their respective communities. 25% of all newlywed Black men in this past decade, were married outside of their race. 25%. And although we have seen an increase in Black women dating outside of the race, it's only up to 12%. So interracial marriage in the Black community is overwhelmingly a Black male thing. How can we turn our backs on our women, which is a form of turning our backs on our community. And without question, it represents turning our backs on our children. Working in the schools, one of the big questions I always get from Black girls, third graders, fourth graders, and fifth graders is, Dr. Umar, what's wrong with me? Why is it?
Stream live TV from 85 plus channels and save up to $500 a year with YouTube TV. Try it free.
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, you've got to try Kachava. Kachava is the world's healthiest all-in-one meal shake. It's made with over 70 plant-based superfoods and nutrients. Giving you all your essentials in one delicious meal. Cheers!
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. Just water, 2 scoops.
That so many Black men choose to marry someone who does not look like their mother.
Frederick, you said you're in an interracial relationship. Have you turned your back on the Black family?
No. How can I turn my back on my family? My family is a Black family. I grew up in a Black family. My mom is Black. My dad's Black.
Okay, y'all, let's pause right there.
I'm inherently Black.
So,
my choice.
I apologize. I wanted y'all to watch that while I was taking a phone call. So, I want to rewind it real quick to something that was said in the beginning. Right here.
Now, Frederick, kick us off.
Oh, wow. Okay, no. Well, I feel like Black people should care about interracial relationships because they're important, right?
Out of all the stuff that, hold on, how do you escape? Out of all the stuff we got going on as a people, what we need to be thinking about right now in this moment is interracial relationships. Like all the shit we got going on. The lack of generational wealth in the community, the fact that Black men and Black men have been underemployed for generations now, and we know now we're not talking about unemployed, we're talking about underemployed, where people have degrees and skills and trades, and they're not employed in that sphere. That's called underemployment. So, for example, I went to law school. But I'm in the oil and gas industry. I would be considered underemployed. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there's a high unemployment rate within his demographic. But he thinks that our community should care about interracial relationships. But listen to how he gonna say he don't give a fuck about the Black community, but the Black community should care about interracial relationships. Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's go.
It gives us an opportunity, like, I'm an interracial relationship myself, so it gives us an important opportunity to be a bridge. So we see ourselves as a bridge with so much divide going on. So we try to be that bridge for other people that have questions on other races, other races and stuff like that. So we want to just be a bridge for them. We want to allow them the opportunity to ask the tough questions. And
So in order for white people to ask Black people tough questions, they got to sleep with them and marry them and copulate with them. Like, stop it. Like, he is, I don't know, I'll try now. I'm getting tongue-tied. I scoured the internet to look for somebody more intellectual to speak on this topic, but they all sound like duh. Now, I don't know if those are just my fine-tuned ears that weed out BS, or if that's how he's sounding, because he doesn't sound like he's eloquently speaking to me. He doesn't sound like, maybe he's not, but it says he's an influencer and a vlogger, so he has to be a type of auditor in some type of way. He has to, okay. Let's keep going. All I hear is some juicy lip, blah, 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 blah.
Be a positive light and to be that backboard that they can
a bridge to racial harmony.
Now, she put them words in his mouth, because that is definitely not what he meant. And then, how can there be racial harmony while our community is at such a discord? Shit. It's just, I said discorded. He is discording it, but when our community is disenfranchised across this nation, we're not talking about just in Texas, just in Louisiana, just in Virginia. We're talking about across this nation from California to New York. from Canada to Texas, disenfranchised black communities everywhere. But he wants to be a bridge to racial harmony through his loins? What? Okay.
Yes, a bridge to it. I mean, there's so much division, and in our relationships, we try to allow our relationship to be an image of what it looks like for unity, right? Unity together.
So an interracial relationship is going to depict unity to black people. That's actually depicting the opposite to black people. That's not showing black people unity. That's showing that you have divested from the black community. So it's not unity that you're showing us. You're showing us the polar opposite of being united. You're showing us disconnect. So you can't walk in the black community with your white wife and your biracial children and then say, this is a picture of unity. This is an example of unity to the black community. This is what unity looks like. What? No. That's what divestment looks like. That's an example of leaving the black community.
And coming together, and you have differences, I have differences, I'm different than you, but we can come together and have something that's beautiful, and that's our marriage.
Why should black people care about interracial relationships, Juice?
They shouldn't.
Really, it's like I'm not really here to like preach or force my belief on someone, but it's like there's just so much focus on skin color, and I'm like, I feel like the focus to me, again, is just my opinion, but I feel like the focus should be on someone's character first.
Before you get to character, baby, you at physical appearance. So before you knew that woman was a great woman, a nice woman, a naive woman, whatever type of woman you may be married to, you knew she was a white woman. So I'm so sick of these people and these interracial relationships say, oh, it's who she is. Bitch, you didn't know who she was until you got to know her. But one thing you did know is she wasn't a woman from your own community. That you knew for a fact, bro, before you entered that relationship.
First, and if the person's nice and you like them, then it makes sense to kind of want to be around them because they're nice people, regardless of what they look like. So, for me, it just makes sense to focus on someone's character first, and then someone's appearance, skin color, and
let's talk about the deflection here because he didn't even answer the question. She said, why should the black community care about interracial relationships? He started going on this tirade about character. What? Character? That's not even remotely close to answering the question that she asked. But okay.
That stuff, so, yeah.
Dr. Umar, let's get into it. Why should black people care about interracial relationships?
Black people should care about interracial relationships for 3 reasons. Number 1, when we go outside of our community to select our mates, we undermine the importance of the traditional black family in the lives of black people, and in particular, black children. If black boys don't see black men being committed to black women, they may be less inclined to do the same themselves.
Exactly.
There can be no nation without first having a strong black family, and the traditional black family is under attack. And when we talk about interracial relationships in our community, we're overwhelmingly talking about black men. It is black men who marry outside of their race more than the men of every other race in this country. Okay,
and then I want to point out that let's look at 100%. Now, this is according to the Pew Institute. The last time I checked, I looked at another, but I can't think of it, so I'm just gonna quote what I remember from a couple years ago. Of black men that are married, okay, of black men that are married, only 26% of black men are even married. Of that, 80% of that 26% are married interracially. Did you understand that? So you have 100% of black men, okay? We're going to take this sponge. Hopefully I can fold it right. Okay, of this sponge, you have okay, let me do something else that I can actually fold up. Okay. So this is 100% of black men, right? %26 of black men are married. This is the 26% of black men that are married. 80% of this 26% are married interracially. So of all of this 100, matter of fact, that's not 80%. Bam. So out of this 100, let me show it to you. Let me get it all in my fingers. Out of this 100, this is how many are married to black women. Let's continue.
Put together as a percentage of their respective communities. 25% of all newlywed black men in this past decade, were married outside of their race. 25%. And although we have seen an increase in black women dating outside of the race, it's only up to 12%. So interracial marriage in the black community is overwhelmingly a black male thing. How can we turn our backs on our women?
Overwhelmingly a black male thing. It's not overwhelmingly for any European race, whether it's Irish, Polish, German, Asian. It's not overwhelming for any European group of men. Any European group of men. But ours. Finish the music, baby. You're going to give me a copyright strike. Okay, well, it needs to already be turned down. Keep in mind that I'm already recording. Okay, so did you get what I'm saying? So this is an issue in our community only. And understand the only reason that anti-miscegenation laws were ended were because they knew it would have this effect. Okay, someone who's controlling a society, who has gained control of someone else's nation, is going to do anything to keep that control.
Which is a form of turning our backs on our community, and without question, it represents turning our backs on our children.
I am inherently
family.
No.
Listen to this.
Your mother.
Cedric, you said you're in an interracial relationship. Have you turned your back on the black family?
No.
How did you not turn your back on the black family when you don't have one? But listen to this stupid answer. This is what I'm saying. Like, they don't even realize they're so in love with white worship and white supremacy, because white supremacy is something that black people think too. So they're so in love with white supremacy until they don't even understand the value or what it means to be divested. You have left the community. So if you've left the community, you turn your back on it, including the black family. If you don't have a black family, you turn your back on the concept of having one. Listen to what he said though.
How can I turn my back on my family? My family is...
See, as again, we're not talking about his family. See, he's still not answering the question. I don't know if he's hard of listening, if he has what's it called when you can't listen and comprehend at the same time? I don't know if he has a problem with that. I don't know if he has a problem with putting things in context. I don't know what he has a problem with doing, but it's definitely leading him to not answer these questions in the correct manner. Maybe he's nervous or scared, or I don't want to call anybody stupid though. That's like rude.
Is a black family. I grew up in a black family. My mom is black. My dad's black.
So you grew up in a black family, but you failed to start one of your own. Therefore, you turned your back on the black family. She didn't say to just turn your back on your black family.
Black. I am inherently black. That my choice to marry my wife that isn't black does not make me less black. To think that the entire...
It actually does make you less black. It makes you less black and less interested in the black community. It makes you less a part of the black community and more a part of her community. Because through her womb, she's going to give birth to biracial children, aka who are going to be genetically European. Unless they found a way to transplant the mitochondrial DNA into the womb of the amino structure DNA of a white woman, then she can't give birth to no black children. And go look at my video. I'm gonna see if I figure out how to add a video, it'll be a link up there, but you can really just scroll down there and then find the video that says they're committing genocide amongst themselves. Black men are committing genocide amongst themselves. Something of that nature. Let's go.
Black community is going to perish because of a decision I made.
Again, he keeps individualizing himself. We're talking about out of 100% of black men, out of 100% of black men, only this percent gets married. So if only this percent gets married, then only this percent, and this large percent of the married black population, male population, is marrying outside of their race. Then that is a detriment that you're doing to the black community. Again, let me give you this example again. This is the whole black male. Remember, men impregnate, men fertilize the seed. I don't care what they think they learn in biology. What they call the egg of some white philosopher who wasn't even a doctor made up calling it an egg. It is a seed, and your sperm is fertilizing that seed. Okay. So it even looks like a seed. But anyway. So remember, this is black male at 100%. This is the amount of black men that get married. This is the amount of black men that marry outside of their race. So you can't tell me that is not negatively impacting the community. And then the community is going to stay a disenfranchised community because a community is a group of groups. So we don't have any groups to group together to create a community. But somehow that is lost on them. And we all know biracials, especially those with black fathers and white mothers, are most likely to marry and copulate with other Europeans. So you're just strengthening the European numbers. That's all you're doing. Giving them melanin so they can last another 100 years. Stupid.
I don't think that's very, that's a great, that's not very reasonable to say, if that makes sense.
If I could push back respectfully, briefly, I would just say we have to look at the reality that black women are more likely than any other women in this country to marry later in life. They're more likely
they're waiting on
to
the black
be
man.
married much shorter than other women. And they're
having
more
less
likely
black kids
to not get married at all. Only 1 out of every 4 black women in the United States will get married. So for a black man to marry out of his race and not say that he does not bear any responsibility for the fact that black women have such a difficult time finding a man who looks like them, who is willing to build a family with them, to say that it is not a form of betrayal on some level, I believe, is politically disingenuous.
Okay,
racist
exactly.
As other white people. And
To say that that every white woman, because I married a white woman, every white woman, my wife, every white woman, a white person is inherently racist, I think is wrong. Because
they have already proved that every person is inherently racist. I'm gonna show you a video later on where they were playing this guessing game, who's got the white wife, and she even said she's been with her black husband for 20 years and she still has racist thoughts while she's watching TV or something. She has to emotionally and mentally check herself. So yes, they're inherently racist. What do you mean? It's drilled in them by their forefathers, their fathers, and their mothers. You know what I mean? And I'm so sick of black men giving white women a pass on racism, as if white supremacy could not survive without them as well, as if they weren't at the lynchings, as if they weren't part of redlining, as if they're, you know what I'm saying, if they're not part of the racist system as a system, because racism is a system. Okay, it is a system that is oppressing a certain group of people. So they're taking place in redlining and the reason why HBCUs was created because they didn't want us in their Ivy League schools. These are the women that are in the welfare office giving more food stamp aid or aid to the white woman than the black woman. They're the people who work in the housing department who are picking the people who come up. And they say it's a lottery all you want to. It's always somebody behind something. Like right now, the people trying to get the Houston relief, the white people in the offices are making sure that they pushing their people through. They're making sure people get skipped over and everything. Believe me, I know somebody that worked there. So understand what I'm saying. White women practice racism as well because they don't want to give up supremacy neither. They love being a dominant race and a dominant culture. It's not just the men that benefit from it, it's the women too. And as a community, as a unit, as a culture, as a race, they uphold that. So I don't know why they're giving the white woman a pass. You could practice racial dominance and still be in an interracial marriage. Especially if you're white. Because all of his black dollars is going to go to her white bank account. We know who run the household, who run the marriage. It's the wife. She paying the bills. She's donating to this and to that. He probably donated $500 to Red Cross last year and don't even know it. Because he doesn't manage the finances. The house manager, a.k.a. the wife, does. He's just being naive. So let's go. And white people themselves have proved that white people are inherently racist. So he's just ignorant. Look, he said, dude. I'm sorry, don't laugh. I'm gonna read my comments in a minute.
You're not giving that person a chance to prove to you who they are. Like if I take that notion, then that means that everybody that looks at me is gonna think that I am inherently racist toward them because they're a different race.
No, that doesn't apply to black people. Why do black people think that they could be racist? You don't have the economic infrastructure or the political authority to be a racist. Racism is a system, and the people that participate in that system are the racists because they're participating in racism. What people get their ists and their like misconstrued. They have no idea what these words mean, and they're just using them. Like they have no idea what these words mean. And you can say he's looking at the screen, looking right at him like, my interracial brother. We are as one. We are a force. Like, stop.
I like to give people a chance to prove to me who they are first. Then when you prove to me you're racist, I know who you are. But if you prove to me that you have character, you're upstanding, and that you look at within before you look outward, then I can roll with you. I can rock with you. And that's kind of how, in determining when I dated my wife, I could see that she had those characteristics. And I chose one person. So I truly believe there's someone out there for everybody, regardless of what your race is. There's someone out there for you. So I was only the person for my wife.
He was just about to say, I wasn't the person for a black woman. You heard that, right? You heard that. That's what he was going to say. I wasn't the person for a black woman. Look at him. Look at him. He thought about that shit. Look at him. Watch this.
And that's who I married. I was only the person for my wife, and that's who I married.
Dr.
Tell me
Umar,
that's not what he
does
was
it
about to
devalue
say.
the community or the culture?
It most certainly does. What it does is it reinforces stereotypes that have long been held in this society that black women are not valued, black women are not wanted, and that there is something inherently wrong with black women. And
it does. It reinforces that because you have so many of them, of the ones that do value marriage and get married. You have so many of them that are married outside their race, and that's what it's saying. And I hate when they say, "Oh, black women didn't want me." You a lie. You are a lie. I know someone just as dull-headed as him, just as slow as him. There's a very beautiful black girl, like video games, like marmalade, like fresh fruit preserves, has a compost in her kitchen, like just all the way what people like in disenfranchised area would say act white. I know a bunch of them like that. So stop it. I'm gonna take a pause right here, and I want to read some of my comments. So hey Valley girl, hey girl. I'm so irritated. My brother has 3 kids by a mixed girl he knew for 17 years, but now he's playing stepdad to a white woman and her 3 boys. That's what they do. They'll leave their community, you know, and the mixed girl's kids are first generation black. They'll be back black if the mixed kids that he just birthed with her have black, because it takes 3 generations to go back black, only 2 to go white. That's crazy. Really 3 to 4 generations to get that white up out you. And let's see. I feel it's right because I feel if the money goes to his white wife, when he passes, he won't be donating to no black. She won't be donating to no black community. No. You see, Kobe Bryant's wife already changed his foundation's name. Not that his foundation would do anything for the black community anyway, but she already changed the name. And I'm pretty sure she changed the narrative and everything behind it. So, we've seen them make Tiger Woods made a white millionaire. Dr. Dre made a white millionaire. Meanwhile, he has 4 black baby mamas who suffered and raised their kids in Compton in the ghetto. You got Marvin Hagler, who left his black wife and 3 kids. He's a boxer who left his black wife, 3 boys, left them, married a white woman, and when he died, she inherited $30 million. He left everything to her. You know what I'm saying? They making white bitches rich all over the world. Like, what do you know, it is what it is. I'm so tired of black people worried about not looking racist. Like, they can't be racist. It's fuck looking racist. They can't be racist. You know, what you think? Really, black men think white men are weak as fuck because they out here fucking these downgraded, downtrodden white women. Anyway, tired of black people worried about looking racist when all races practice preservation. Exactly. They practice preservation by allowing their white woman to copulate with this black man because they knew they were dying out. They need to replenish their ranks. I'm going to go over white supremacy with a 10 so you can understand what the biracial is about to do. We are last in the race, so we can't be racist. Exactly. I'm glad you get it. Valley girl. You are my world. Now, okay, let's go back, guys.
And that's why they're not desired by the black man or the white man. Without question, when you see
now the white men do desire us, but we are race loyal because it's in our as the mother of our race, especially our own race. It is we have this innate like subconscious yearning to procreate and replicate ourselves.
Many well-educated and economically comfortable black men going outside of their community to find a spouse, even though it is not openly stated, it is clearly the black.
Okay, I just want to fast forward to get to this here, so we can 2, 1.
The black woman is our responsibility.
Juice, you've said that, you know, you're not really here to give your opinion. You're not really here to judge anybody else. Can you speak to the responsibilities that Dr. Umar just talked about when he said, look, black men have a responsibility to society?
Black men have a responsibility to black society. They need to put a label on that. You have a responsibility to your community that you are raised in. That's what you have a responsibility to. You have a I don't care if you are black with a black mom and a black daddy, you was raised in a white neighborhood. You still have a responsibility to the black family. You have a responsibility to your black father, your black mother, to reproduce them. I was just like a great-great-grandmother I never met. You see what I'm saying? They say I act like her too, but that's that mitochondrial DNA that only can be added to your children's bloodline, subconscious, and DNA structure, the amino lines within their DNA structure by your black wife. We cannot be the superior race if you keep diluting us. Like, come on, we're already genetically weak. Now you're making us socially weak. Like, come on. And the only reason we're genetically weak is because we're made to give birth to everybody. But look, at the end of the day, go look at my video. They're committing genocide amongst themselves. I explained biology to the T over there. We're not going to do that over here. But let's see his responsibility to black society. Watch what he say.
Do you not believe that?
I disagree. I mean, again, it's not. I'm not here to please society.
He's still stuck on the optics. See, black men, they know they doing wrong by marrying outside their race because both these guys are focused on the optics, on how it looks to be with a black woman. You know, and I'm not here to please you. I'm not here to please society. How about keep society going? How about keep your race going? You know what I mean? These guys, I think even you're not responsible to keep your race going. It's like the whole entire black race is on the back of the black woman because we're the only ones that seem to care about it. And that's sad that our men have all but left the community. And I forgot, and out of all these baby daddies over here that's not married, 76% are copulating with white women. So we dwindling in the numbers while we increasing their numbers. Go look at that video. Dr. Drake is just a famous example, but there are a bunch of biracials who are copulating with white society, and they have a bunch of white kids to show for it. Let's go.
Care less about what someone thinks about my decisions. I'm not here to please anyone. So again, I'm not here to like.
It's not what anybody thinks about your decision. It's the effect that your decision has on your race. So he doesn't care if 60 to 75, maybe 100 years from now, black people don't exist anymore. Or they're even more oppressed by their biracial offspring. Remember, the Moors became the biggest race traders in Africa because that's the Tariq Baber and them, that's their Moorish offspring that they gave birth to over there in Spain when they was conquering for the 700 years. 700 years of creating biracials in Europe, all over Europe. Okay, that's how they think, y'all. They invaded North Africa with Mussolini all the way down to the Congo with Leopold, which was some of the deadliest massacres ever. There was some biracial offsprings that did that. And if you go look at North Africa now, you can tell they biracials having biracial babies, having biracials mixing with Europeans. You can tell. That if you read The Destruction of Civilization, man, it lays it out for you. Them biracial babies, they hate the black daddy because you get the same black man. They end up disdaining the black daddy. They end up leaning toward the dominance that their mother has put into them because mothers push culture forward. Okay? Fathers birth the culture, mothers push it forward. So it's no wonder like the biracials like Brittany Renner and Dr. Dre. I mean not Dr. Dre and Drake and I'm naming people that y'all can go look up. And Drake and all those famous biracials that we speak of, it's no wonder that they are copulating and Kiki Wyatt. Look at their supremacist attitude. They have a very supremacist mindset. They're getting that from their mothers, from their white mothers. Okay? And then they're going to copulate. If Kiki Wyatt wasn't so ghetto and went to prison for stabbing that dude, she could have got her a white husband. If her mama wasn't such trash. So, so they're marrying overwhelmingly white people. And then they're giving birth to white people. Grace Jones. Because I want to throw a black woman in there too. Grace Jones. She had a baby with a white man. But guess who raised that son? The white man. Because Grace Jones left him and the daddy to wild out and get with Golf Lundgren. So she left her man, her white man. She pulled a black. She did a you on a you. She put a black man on his ass. She's out. She says she's masculine anyway. Grace Jones is basically a pretty black man. Okay? She left him with the baby and got into what 6-7 year relationship with Golf Lundgren. So he was raised by a white man in the dominant society. So of course he's gonna procreate with a white woman. Grace Jones, as African as she is phenotypically and all from her head to her toe, as island as she is, she got a white grandbaby. You don't believe me? Go look it up.
Like push belief or preach on, but it's like again.
We're not talking about belief, though. We're talking about sociology. Like, we're talking about social engineering. What are these? We got about belief and optics and what it looked like and pleasing society. They're completely off topic. The whole time, they were off topic.
I'm doing this because I enjoy being around people who are good, regardless of who you are. Just that simple with me.
He's lying. He is lying. Because you trying to tell me you have never met a group of black women that were good people? The fuck? Like, why are they lying? Just say, look, I don't know why I'm just attracted to the opposite of me. You know, black men need to go get therapy, especially if they don't love their own or want to date outside their race overwhelmingly. They need therapy. They need to go figure out what it is and address that issue. Why do they want to? It's like they're white supremacists right along with everybody else. Like, the only people that's left in the race, they've divested themselves from us. So the only people that's really in the black community is black women. That's sad. Our men have vacated the premises. And then that's why you got other races of men coming over here looking for good women, good, strong-minded, ready to get this bag, ready to make $1 million women. Because y'all don't. Y'all want to live mediocre lives and be mediocre with your white woman. Maybe they just don't have what it takes to be with a black woman. You know, they're not enterprising or ambitious enough.
Right, but the question is, do you believe you have, as a black man, you have a responsibility to society in any way?
Absolutely not. You know, black or white.
Black or white? He's still talking about black or white. When she says society, she's talking about black society. So you don't owe society nothing. That's the case. Why are you a law-abiding citizen? You don't owe society nothing? Come on, that's just ignorant. And this is the mindset. This is how these guys think that are in these interracial relationships. They think they're not affecting society. They're not affecting economics. They're not here to please. They don't give a damn about black society or the black race or its preservation. And they don't owe that to themselves or to the race as a collective.
I'm not born in this life to be responsible for anyone or anything. I mean, it's just my decision on how I live my life, regardless of how you feel about it. So it's not my responsibility whatsoever as a black man.
Did you seek?
As a black man. So does he consider himself a black man? Because he used quotations. That's definitely when you're being condescending or sarcastic. So as a quote-unquote black man, I don't owe nothing to black society. Like, spoken like a true white supremacist.
Out a white woman?
Absolutely not.
Me, that's a...
Regardless of how you feel about it. So it's not my responsibility whatsoever as a black man.
Did you seek out a white woman?
Absolutely not.
Me, that's a misconception that black men seek out white women. So
even if that's your preference, it's your business. It's like, almost like being gay. You know, that's your preference of dating whomever you want. You know, and again, that's not why I did it because I need a Caucasian woman. No, I'm around different people all the time. You know, again, I'm around a lot of dark-skinned people who are terrible. Even my own family members, they could be just terrible people to be around, and they're dark-skinned. So I'm not around them as much. But if they were Caucasian, I'll treat them the same way. If you're a bad person, I won't be around you. Just that simple, really.
Do interracial relationships affect the black economy? That's a really deep question right there. Dr. Umar, can you give us a deep answer?
Of course, interracial marriages affect the black community. In fact, I would argue that the economic sabotage,
I already talked about the economic sabotage. I gave you examples already.
Economic treason that takes place whenever a black man, especially an educated black man, an economically comfortable black man, decides to abandon anything other than economic betrayal.
Edric, I see you smiling.
Oh yeah.
Have you committed economic betrayal, my brother?
No.
Yes.
No, absolutely not. Because Dr. Umar, respectfully,
he can't even get his words out.
He's saying that the black man is taking his paycheck from the black woman.
You are?
also the value of the Black woman. There's so much strong, educated.
Okay, we so strong and educated. Why you're not married to one? I hate when they try to give Black women all these. So because we're strong and educated, we don't need the infrastructure of the Black family to keep the race going, to create more strong and educated people, to create a dominant society ourselves, or create an independent society ourselves. Is that correct? They need me on Fox Soul because, baby, I
Black
turn it up.
women out there that can handle their own checks. They can pay their own money. They have my two sisters are two of them. They're two doctors.
Okay. And what they should have asked was, okay, are those two Black beautiful doctors married? That's what they should have said. So, but they not. They're not getting to that. See, they need me on there.
They handle their own stuff. They have their own money, and I'm not saying that
that's not the question.
Exactly. That's not the question. The question, he talking about his sister's money, nigga. He talking about his sister's money. Brother, where is your money? I can't call him brother because he's the vested from the Black community. Frederick. It's not Frederick. Frederick. Bowie, where's your money going? Where's your money going? For the biracial kids and a white wife, to the interracial relationship that you're in. Because that's not the question.
The question, but I'm just saying, like, my paycheck.
That's all they've been doing the whole show is just saying. They haven't answered no question directly.
You're saying that the guy has. You're making it seem like the guy is the one that's going to have the biggest paycheck. There's very.
What does that have to do with anything? I don't care how meager your check is. It's going to the.
Win at work.
Okay, I'm about to. Oh Lord, that is a terrible wig.
With Grammarly, meet Dylan, who's prepping for a big investor.
More than cash.
I agree. Into a marriage that you share with a decisions with your white wife about your finances, correct?
Paycheck. I'm nobody's savior. I can't go. I'm not going to their rescue.
Frederick, this is not about individualism.
So now he's saying rescue people. Listen,
and not a Black woman because you chose to leave the community to find your spouse.
But you're also saying that I am the savior that's going to rescue all Black women.
As a collective, and it's not a savior. So he knows Black women are in trouble because he used the word savior. Nothing Dr. Umar said and nothing Tammy said, none of her questions made victimize Black women as if they needed saving. They were just talking about the side effects and the detriment that could happen from marrying outside of your race. So he looked down on Black women as dance, even though he just bigged up his sisters. You know what I'm saying? They always separate themselves from the collective. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said, "Oh, how can I divorce the Black family? I never turned my back on my family, my sisters, my, but not us as a whole." He doesn't talk about Black people as a collective, and that's the problem. That is the problem that he's having psychologically, looking at Black people in totality and saying, "Oh well, yes, if this many Black men are getting, if this is Black men, this many Black men are getting married, and this many Black men are marrying Black women, then I can see how I'm contributing to a problem, to the decline of Black life and Black economics." But they can't grasp the concept of thinking as a collective. I don't get it. And Black women don't need saving, but we do need to procreate to keep the Black race going. And that's what we're not doing. Like, I just feel like Black women across the globe need to be celibate for a year and teach these motherfuckers a lesson. Just don't have sex with no Black man for it. You need to start that. For 2 years. We could be celibate for 2 years. It's nothing. Be celibate for 2 years. Don't sleep with no Black man, no man, period. Don't sleep with them. Leave their ass alone for 2 years. And let them disintegrate their own race. Like, just leave them alone. We need to just start our own neighborhoods and everything. Because unfortunately, they're not going to do it. They're not going to they don't believe in group economics. They don't even believe in grouping together to create an economic sphere to be able to invest in the Black community. Sad.
It's not about paycheck. I'm nobody's savior. I can't go. I'm not going to their rescue.
Frederick, this is not about individualism, my brother. I'm not making you a savior. No.
And look at the other dude laughing. They just having that white wife banter and just not getting it.
I'm not making you a scapegoat. What I'm saying is that you, myself, the other brother here, and every other black man has an obligation to look out for our sisters and our children. And when little black girls see you walking down the street with your white wife, many of them are going to ask themselves.
And growing up, everybody does it. Even as an adult, we do it like, dang, he was a white bitch. Like, he don't care about the human race. He couldn't find no good black woman. Everybody, even if we don't, consciously we don't care, but subconsciously we see it, and we have our little remorse. We feel some type of way about it because we know that our race is declining. That we have, we're basically as a people, we're destitute. Economically, spiritually, racially, we are just down bad because of y'all treasonous ways. And it's like they don't get it.
A young girl would say when she sees a quote-unquote black man with a white woman walk.
Because I talk to them on a regular basis. I'm a school psychologist, a school principal. I'm also a clinician. Children are what I do for a living. So I tend to have a very good pulse on what black children are thinking.
But how can they speak for all black women?
I'm not trying.
See, he go black again. Like, what's with him with black in quotation marks? Do he realize what he's insinuating when he... Whatever, child. Functioning illiterates, I tell you. Functioning illiterates. Like, we're talking about black women as a collective. They're getting married in smaller numbers. They're getting married later in life because they got to wait till the black man finish screwing everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because the ones that do get married at a young age don't want to marry black women. You know what I'm saying? The ones that do, the black men that want to marry black women or will marry black women, they marry them later in life after they done slept with the whole neighborhood. By then, they have 2 or 3 other black mamas, even though they are black. They're not interested in copulating no more. She may not have none. She'll have a oops baby in her mid to late 30s. Like, let's go.
I'm trying to speak for all
what I mean?
black
Like,
children.
it doesn't make any sense.
But you're running away from the question. How about we answer the question as opposed to trying to change the variables of it?
Do you believe
the variables? He changed the whole narrative of the question. He didn't even change who was involved in the question. Yeah.
that there is a psychological consequence to black men dating white women or women outside of the race?
I mean, I could say yes to that, but with no actual science, I really can't speak on that actual term. But maybe
that term, he can't speak on that term or or that issue. What the fuck? I can't speak on that term. What term? She didn't ask you to speak on a word. She asked you to speak on the psychological effects of that it could have on the black community to you dating outside your race. And I think the effect is not so much psychological as it is economical and social. I think it's a bigger detriment to us economically and socially and racially as far as preserving our race and increasing our numbers as it does psychologically. Now, what happened? Now he's gonna have some psychologically. His kids are gonna be confused because psychologically, biracials are confused. They all over TikTok crying about that they black daddy not telling them nothing about their blackness and they white mama just calling them niggas when they get mad. They all on TikTok complaining about they black daddies and they biracial circumstance and they wish they mamas was black because black women rock. Even biracial kids grow up wishing they mamas was black. So they wish they was black. They wish their daddy had sex with a black woman and not that white heifer. Kiki Wise said she grew up with her mama calling her nigga all the time. That light-skinned comedian, I forgot his name, but he said that he was with his wife for 5 years before he can go inside their house for Thanksgiving. He had to spend Thanksgiving outside in the car. The girl didn't even love him enough to say, well, baby, since my parents are racist, let's go to your people's house. He sat outside the house in the car while she went in her parents' house with his baby. Play.
Young black girl may feel that way, but to kind of generalize all black young women.
I wish they'd ask more psychological questions about the pathology of these men who date outside the race, because they are men who date outside the race. Instead of asking him from a young black girl's perspective, they should have asked him from a male perspective. Do you think you're setting a bad example to the rest of the young men coming up in the black community?
That they feel this way.
They don't.
Like
let me interview
the black guy, that they feel like something's wrong with me. That's just kind of crazy. Kind of just put them on that same pot, that they feel this way when they see that. You know, if they were to see that they feel like
you brothers are marrying and dating outside the race more than any other men do. And Sister Tammy, we have to also keep in mind that these are not just any black men off the
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, you gotta try CynthiaG. CynthiaG is the world's healthiest, all-in-one
street who are doing this. I mean, Dave Chappelle, very socially conscious. His wife is not black. Kanye West, socially conscious. His wife is not black. And then you add to that pot Russell Simmons, socially conscious. His wife is not black.
See? And none of their money is going to benefit the black community. And they all think that their kids are black. Like, we are so inefficient to black society. As a woman, as a black woman, the mother earth, the oldest living being ever, even older than the man, that they have proved this. White women can give birth to us, to black children. Yeah. So we are what? Like, if Dave Chappelle kids are black, if Russell Simmons kids are black, excuse me, if what's the other guy he just named? Dave Chappelle, Russell Simmons, the other guy he just named, biracial kids, if they're black, then what the fuck am I? Black? Extra black? Like, if biracials are black, then what am I? Let's go.
And of course, you got the Charles Barkleys and the Jalen Rose. So you're not just talking about black men working at Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You're talking about multi-millionaires and billionaires who are going to leave a very powerful financial legacy that's going to go right over to white women after they die.
Thank you.
To acquire that wealth.
It's saying, what's the
acceptable?
We
Hold on.
This is saying that we know what all.
Who is he? Ray Charles. He said, this is all he had to do just he know what Umar saying is right. Stop it.
Ancestors would say, what's to say that our ancestors did not exercise forgiveness, even though they knew it was happening?
Here we go, talking about forgiveness. Black men are the most forgiving, scariest. Just like when that white cop in Dallas, Amy, shot that man point blank in the head as he sat on his couch minding his business unarmed. I believe it was an ex. They didn't disclose that. Guess who hugged her and said, "I don't want you to go to jail. I'll forgive you." His black male adult brother. You blow my brother head off. Best believe your brain fits to be leaking. You mean the court? Court? Who going to court? Girl. These are some of the most. Our ancestors wasn't forgiving. They was weak behind white heifers. Weak. Marcus Garvey, Scam Garvey. He left. He left his dark-skinned wife for the light-skinned biracial homegirl. Now that wife took a bullet for him. He left her for her bridesmaid, her best friend, her partner. Frederick Douglass married a white bitch. Who else? All these Quincy Jones supposed to be socially conscious, married a white bitch. This is generational. This has been going on. All his kids are white. This been going on. I'm just showing y'all today that they minds haven't changed. I showed you last week James Earl Jones video. The mindset is the same. They don't owe society nothing. They don't owe society nothing.
Happening to
this
them.
is not about
forgiving.
It's not about hating white people.
You're saying,
what the forgiveness again? They don't have nothing to do with the topic. Functioning illiterates. I'm telling you.
Hold on,
I would like to
hold on,
interview
Doctor.
these brothers one on one.
marriage because I hate white people. I'm against interracial marriage because we need to build up our people, my brother. I have nothing against your white wife. I can have a great conversation with your white wife. And at the end of that conversation, I will respectfully let her know her husband had no business taking a woman other than one from his community as his wife. It's not about hating white women. It's about loving black women. And that's why we must protect the black family.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say is that there are a lot of, it all depends on what are the conversations happening in the household, right? When you go back to the psychological impacts. Like, what are the parents teaching their kids?
So what are the conversations that you're having in your household, Frederick?
The conversations I have in my household is that we have conversations about race. We have conversations of what you do in certain situations. We have conversations about how you should judge people by the content of their character as opposed to the color of their skin. We have conversations that give everybody a fair shot before you go putting judgments on people. Before you put labels on people, actually take the time to speak with them, take the time to get to know them.
None of that it sounds like he's trying to, I understand trying to raise good people, but he's not trying to raise good black people. You see what I'm saying? He's not instilling no type of racial pride in them. And that's exactly what those biracial kids was talking about on TikTok, just whining all over TikTok about, we don't know nothing about being black. But then they do their ancestral DNA. I see so many white people when they do their DNA, so many biracial people, they do their DNA, and they come back to the little black that's in them. They always talk about, slavery. All they know about being black is slavery because their daddies ain't teach them shit. We can look at the outcome of biracial to know this man is lying. Okay?
First.
So where are these white organizations, these white women organizations for police brutality, these white women organizations for education? Do you believe that white women should be more involved, and particularly if they're married to a black man?
Well, I'm not sure what's her name, but I do know some older Caucasian woman that does. They speak on, like great.
He's talking about that older lady, Jane, and that's all he could think. I don't know her name. I just know some white lady. She speaks about it. Still not answering the question. Just deflect.
Like, racism and all those things. But really, I really can't speak on that topic too much. But I feel like I don't see the point of them really having to have that kind of their responsibility to protect me. I could protect myself.
Who's talking about me and myself? We're talking about society, socially. I don't think maybe they should have rephrased the questions a few times over and over again, because quite frankly, he's not getting it. He's just saying, it's not my white wife's responsibility to protect me. No, but if you're gonna marry her, instead of you ingratiating yourself in the dominant society into white race, why don't you take your white wife and make her ingratiate herself into black culture to where she gives a fuck if it survives or not, if the black race survives or not? Instead of you going to take your black ass over there trying to act like a white man, why don't you bring her over here to the black culture, to the black race, to help preserve it and keep it going financially, spiritually, psychologically, and most of all, economically. Oh, that's financially. Why don't you do that? Oh, but it ain't her responsibility. It ain't your responsibility. It ain't her responsibility. So nobody in your mixed race family has a responsibility or obligation to the black race and its preservation. That's what he's saying, right? Okay. Did you hear it? Because I heard it. You heard it. I heard it. You listening? I'm listening. Okay.
If she wants to get involved with that kind of, stuff of, protesting and speak about police brutality.
He's not even involved in it.
And all these things, feel free. But me personally, I just don't see the point why she has to, really be involved in those things. I just
look at Umar looking, just disappointed.
I think, Tammy, a lot of times, like, we want to go for the big hit and you should be marching and doing all this, which is all great. But I think the biggest
Martin, we should be blasting these fools. Like any cop that ever killed an unarmed black man should be dead in his grave, or at least buried one of his kids. Like, you look at my video that say give them cause for pause. It's down there. I was sitting outside on this hot summer day drinking lemonade, spiked lemonade. But and I talked about that. But just listen to Dub.
biggest things we can do is to speak up when stuff is happening, right? So I know there are many Caucasian friends that I have, my wife, all included, that would speak up if they.
Many Caucasian friends that he has, and I believe he has many Caucasian friends. I bet he's one of those Negroes that don't hang out with other Negroes.
They see injustice.
That's where I give my guests one last chance to get their point across.
I don't want to hear
So let's
their
say
point.
You have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts.
Across and to tell the people why or why not interracial dating should happen or should not happen within the races. So let's kick it off with you, Frederick.
Well, I feel like you should marry and go after and be in a relationship with whoever it is that you love. Just go after love. You choose love if that person's in a different race. Yes. If that person's in the same race, yes. Just pick someone that's committed. Pick someone that's going to love you forever. And just fight for it every day, regardless of what everybody else might say.
Dr. Umar, your thoughts on
I would say that all Black men who are considering marrying a woman outside of our community need to think long and hard about what they are about to do and the consequences that it has for our community economically, socially, politically, and psychologically. We don't hate. We're no excuse to not have one, my brother.
I'm in Europe right now. I'm in Macedonia, Europe right now. Ain't none of...
Okay, listen to this fool. He's in Macedonia, Europe right now, right? And he said there's no black people out there. But where did he meet? Did he meet his wife in Macedonia? Did he grow up in Macedonia? He don't have an English European accent. That's just where he's visiting. Have a population. So it's 10% black. So he can go find a small black neighborhood out there. He's lying. Let's go. Whenever I go on vacation, I've been to the Maldives and found my tribe. When I travel, I find my tribe. And sometimes I don't even travel where I know there ain't gonna be no black people there. Because I don't, what the fuck I'm going for? What I'm going for? No, I'm not, y'all know I'm into punk rock. I'm into rock. My favorite rock band is what? That's AC/DC, Journey. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. Who sang it? Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi. You know what I'm saying? The Kid Rock was cowboy, baby. Like, you know, I want my ends. People kill each other for the ends. Like, all that. Raves when I was in high school, all of that. So it's not like I don't know how to socialize with different fractions of people. But if I'm going to go out of my way to go on vacation and hang out, even if I'm going to experience another culture, if I'm going to go to Miami, I'm going to find the Afro-Latino culture. They all cook the same damn food. You know what I'm saying? If when I go to Jamaica, I don't go to the white part of Jamaica. You know? If I do go to Montego, I'm going to hop in the Jeep with somebody and go up that little long thing and go up that hill while them niggas at. Like, that's just me. So you can find your tribe in Macedonia. The thing is, psychologically, your frequency is tuned into Europeanness and European people. So you bring about what you think about. And you think whiteness. So you're going to attract whiteness to you no matter where you at. I can go to Macedonia and I'll find me some black folk to hang out with. Because that's what frequency I'm on. That's what I'm on.
Ain't no black women in Europe, Juice.
Listen.
And he's not from Europe, though. He's not a European. He's not from Europe. Now, if he was born and raised in Europe, he would be a European. He would be a black Englishman. But he is not from there. That's just where he's at right now. And I think Tammy should have stayed on the topic.
Millions of black women in Europe. I've been all over.
Macedonia? Not in Macedonia.
It don't matter. You already married.
Where are the black women?
You went to Macedonia when you met your wife?
Macedonia.
Tammy,
Yes, sir.
what if your daughters come to you and say, Dad, I know your feelings, but I am falling in love with a guy outside my race?
And I will say, I will always love you as my daughter, and I will always be disappointed in your decision.
Boom.
Ooh, that hurt.
Yeah.
The truth hurts. That's what my dad used to say all the time. The truth hurts.
He's honest.
Yeah.
In today's world, to answer Tammy's question about interracial relationships, I do feel like that can be a bridge to help mend the racial divides, because
we're not worried about men and racial divides. Why we can't mend our race first and then worry about how we socialize with other races? Our race is in danger. Our numbers are low thanks to y'all creating all these damn biracials. Y'all on TikTok and cheers to light-skinned kids and beautiful mixed babies. We gonna have some pretty mixed babies. I'm just dull like him. Like, this is just frying my brain cells. Like, I'm just getting stupid to just listen to this nonsense. Nobody stayed on topic but Dr. Umar. Nobody everybody deflected. Nobody took accountability. No, like, what did y'all come on this show for? Because y'all really was like, she need to redo this show with a different panel. This is terrible. But this is the mindset. This is how they think. Tariq Nasheed, he supposed to be pro-black and conscious. He over there with Peanut and her white mama. Yeah, his wife is a white woman, a biracial through the loins of a white woman. And we know, like I said, genetically, it's impossible, for them to give birth to us. So look at that.
An interracial relationships brings opportunities for change. It allows for cultures.
What change? What change? Y'all been dating white girls for 55 years since the 1967 Loving Virginia.
Yeah.
What change has come?
Before that, that white man went to court to marry his biracial, because the white man is loving, not the woman. He went to court to marry a biracial woman, not a black woman. So let's get that all the way 100. Before that, there were 3 other Supreme cases dating back to Reconstruction and Jim Crow, where black men was going to court to beg to marry their white bitches. During Jim Crow, during Reconstruction, during Black Codes, during all the atrocities that's committed on us, black men was going to court to marry white girls. Like, so stop it. It's been more like 80 to 100 years. We've been out of slavery for 150 years, right? So 150 years, they've been fighting for this hoe. And so it wasn't no 50. He's wrong on his math.
There's a change, doctor.
He's about to explain the change now, Dr.
I'm going to explain the change, doctor.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to do an overarching change. I'm changing one person at a time. So if you take one interracial couple and you take their family, if their family is, as you said earlier,
but why would you want to even marry into a family who could be potentially racist? Like, why would you even take that risk? Like, why? I would never risk that. I wouldn't even go to a country western bar, because I go to country bar. There's a country bar that I like to go to. Hold on. There's a country bar I like to go to. I wouldn't even go to a country bar if I thought that I was going to potentially be in a room full of racists. So you dated this woman, went to meet her parents, not knowing if you was going to be in a room full of racists or not. And you was willing to take that risk.
Those wounds inside them to be healed, that can cause them to actually start looking different.
So white people going to start being racist, stop being racist because they had a conversation with you because your wife is white.
No, I'm saying the families watching the love that an interracial couple have, the families of that Caucasian person.
And they're going to be changed. Their political and economic values are going to change because they see you loving on a white woman. Is that what I'm
talking about? Their heart. Their heart is...
Heart? What the fuck feelings got to do with economics? Preserving your race. Sociology. Love ain't got nothing to do with that. If it was about love, they would have never had slaves in the first place, beating them, raping them, blocking your mental. You know that whitewashing law. Come on, child. Love. What's love got to do? Got to do with it.
It's gonna be changed. That's where it starts from. It starts in the heart. If you could change a man's heart, you could change your family.
My brother.
I'll give him that point. If you can change a man's heart, if you can.
Family.
This is not
You
about
cannot.
emotions. This is about power.
You can change. I could right now go talk to a hardcore racist, and he'll change his perspective and what he thinks about black people. But that's not gonna change the way he spends his money. That's not gonna change how he procreates. Love don't do that. Just because they think, oh, this one black guy that my white daughter dumbass married, he's cool. But that's not gonna make them all of a sudden uplift the black community. They're in the dominant society. The dominant do not lend out dominance. The fuck? They preserve it for themselves. This tea got me out wet mouth, y'all. Excuse me. The dominant society don't give out dominance. They don't go around saying, well, little dominance for you, little dominance for you. I hope you guys can build up on something. No, they laugh at dumb motherfuckers like this who ingratiate themselves in their culture. So they know for a fact that, okay, they're not going to do nothing for their race. They'll never gain financial freedom, independence, social independence, and they'll always be a second-class citizen with no constitutional rights because y'all more worried about the optics of relationships and building bridges than you are on self-preservation, which is rule number one. And any psychologist, professor, teacher, or enthusiast will tell you self-preservation is rule number one to any individual. So as a collective, we should be trying to preserve ourselves. But there's that.
Economic and political control of resources and opportunities. Love has nothing to do with it. Sleeping with white girls does not reduce racial tension.
Cedric, do you believe it's about economic power?
We're going to say that again. Sleeping with white girls does not reduce racial tension. It don't. You don't. We saw that panel of white men and what they said. You didn't see it, go look on my videos. It was a conversation some white men had. They said they don't even care if you messing with a white woman. They only care if she's hot because they feel like they could have had her. And how many of them are with hot girls? I've seen this. Both of their wives, they not hot. They average. They all right. They all right. If them two was married to black women, they wouldn't even be as goofy as how they looking. Duh. They looking real Forrest Gumpish. But he had enough sense to go get some bread. Come on.
Power?
No, I don't believe it's about economic power. I believe it's about just coming together and accepting and.
So he's being hypocritical. So if he thinks that it's about coming together, okay, and unity for whom? Because black people need to come together for it to be this melting pot, this happy utopia. What is it? Who's coming together with whom? What do you think is going to happen? Because we invited them in. The indigenous black people of this land, the black indigenous of Turtle Island, invited them to the cookout, and you see what happened.
Celebrating everybody's differences and finding that middle ground where we all can live in unity and just move forward together.
I asked Juice, I'm going to ask you now, what are the misconceptions that you receive from people because you married a white woman?
You get the misconceptions. You get the misconceptions that one, you only dating her because she's white or she's different from you. Exactly. You're trying to make kids that are lighter.
That's mostly what they do. Her dogs just had a bad fight, so she had to bathe them. They had a real bad fight. It's gone, Phoenix. It's a piece of his ear missing. Yeah. I told you should have broke them up.
I told you to do that. Yeah, see, but no, like the bone showing and everything.
The bone is showing?
That's what it looks like. Look.
Hold on, y'all.
Oh.
God damn it. You have to pay for him to go to the vet, Phoenix. Oh, so he was lying. Oh. It's just sad, right? Listen to this. Nickapoo.
Action. You get the misconception that like Doctor said, you turn your back on your community, when in fact I feel it's the difference. I feel it's actually the opposite. You're actually embracing your community and trying to show them off in other atmospheres or environments where.
How are you showing your own community off with another community on your arm? He doesn't even know he's double talking. Like, this nigga's retarded.
Necessarily for other people to see. I think there's power in seeing an interracial couple walking together in love, seeing that. I think there's power to see that where there's so much divide and racial tension going on now, to see love and to see two people in harmony walking together, I think that's healing for our nation.
But you know what?
Patrick, let me ask you this. When you say it's healing for our nation.
All right, I'm putting this here right now. I didn't get the balloons, though. Like, pull them down some. I'm coming, y'all. Hold on. But yeah, you see how this he's an idiot. There in your daddy face. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Oh, so everybody else can sit on your couch, but you can.
I paid for it. Okay. Oh, the flash not on. That's the problem. One more time. Turn the light on, Phoenix. I'm coming, y'all. There y'all go. That's so cute. Smile. Okay. If I was in the picture, we would look like triplets. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank y'all for understanding that little break.
I don't think that Black people are as upset about interracial relationships as white people actually are.
And see, now that's where she's misinformed, because white people don't care about interracial relationships because they know the outcome of it. They know you're just producing another white person. One generation, that person gonna be white. Dr. Drake's son, Grace Jones, Drake's son, Grace Jones' granddaughter, those are prime examples. They know you ain't doing nothing but increasing their numbers. You just create some old biracial bastards that's going to turn their back on the Black community and ingratiate themselves in the white community, in the dominant society, just like they doing. Like, stop it.
I think Black people are a little more tolerable when it comes to interracial relations. Is it a white person?
I think you change it just from here.
Let me see. Did she
change the heart of a white person? You marrying a white person could change the heart of a white person.
I think you change it just from here's the deal. There are some people that just aren't open up in conversation. They aren't open to seeing anything different than how they've been taught or grew up or from great grandpa told them. But for the ones that are, it will change them. The ones that are willing to sit down and ask the questions, and
the ones that are willing don't need changing. They're already. This is ridiculous.
Look through a different lens. I feel like if we look at the other side of the bottle in anyone,
like, this is crazy.
And take a walk in their shoes, we can see how they live. So,
Dr. Umar, do you believe that Black people are a little more patient when it comes to interracial relationships, a little more accepting than white people?
I would say that both groups are accepting of it, but for different reasons.
Exactly.
Black people are
They're accepting of it because we are naturally loving people. I'm gonna see if he's gonna say this, because we are naturally loving people and we have no choice. White people are accepting of it because they already know that they ain't gonna create nothing but another confused biracial who's gonna come over here to be white and betray y'all any motherfucking way, and all your money, finances, and assets gonna come over to our community when you die, because we all know women live longer than men. Let's see if he's gonna say that.
Of it because we come from a religious indoctrination that forces us to be politically colorblind.
Yep.
And white people are accepting of it because, as I said earlier, the only white women that Black men can have are the white women that other white men don't want.
Look how they looking. They look like don't nobody want their wife. They looking like, oh dang. Like, you know how you walk in the room and like with your dude and everybody looking at you like, damn, she fine. I mean, y'all get that, right? Because it happens to me when I go out with my guy friend. So like, they not getting those looks from white men. They just looking like,
Now, I'd like to see your statistics on that one, Dr.
Yeah.
Because white men have said it. Like, white men say they don't give a fuck. Now, if she's hot, we might care. But we see who they really choose. Men like big titties, small asses, and slim waists. Slim waists. That's what they like. Even when you see a lot of black men, white men who didn't grow up in disenfranchised communities that were raised around white women, when they get one, they phenotypically look the same. Those are very slim, petite black women. And now, I've seen robust white men give it robust black women. I've seen that. But the fine-ass white boys, they want an in-shape black girl that works out. They don't want the slim thick, the slim fine. They don't want that. I done seen them. Look.
Let's take a quick break and come right back. We'll find out what Dr. Umar is up to, what Frederick and Juice are up to when we come back on Business of Being.
See? So it's like there's a psychology to it. And it's like, I don't understand how come no one understands. This is their mindset. They completely, and so we can understand what divestment. I want us to go see what exactly okay, now listen. Deprive someone of power, rights, or possessions. How does it relate to community though? Let's see. Rid oneself from something that is no longer wants or requires, such as a business interest or an investment or a community. Deprive something of a particular quality. Like, I don't understand what they didn't understand about any of the questions. They don't have any obligation to society, to their society. Because when you talking to someone, you say to the society, to the world, you mean the black world, the sphere in which it applies to you. You know what I mean? They didn't answer any question. There was a lot of deflection, and there was a lot of failure to understand. I just want y'all to look at the mindset and the mentality of what really goes on in these guys' minds and how they're really thinking. I love you guys. This is a Black Spin, and I am out. Peace.